Tyson. I'm from Rochester, New York. I think for both sort of the looks and for off-road functionality, being able to lift it up a little bit, put some bigger tires on it, actually put some smaller wheels on it. It came stock with 18s, which is sort of a weird size. Yeah. Those were sort of my initial goals. I just wanted to get a feel for its stock and sort of understand what its limitations were, how it drove, you know, sort of in its stock configuration. I think as far as issues go, the sort of steering is great for off-road use, but it's kind of pretty difficult for urban driving, and I do use this as a daily, because the stock one is particularly tight and is sort of known for you having to sort of like hammer the wheel back, and it's a reciprocating ball sort of configuration, and so it's particularly sort of tough to work with in a, you know, road driving situation.
Yeah. One of the biggest complaints we're hearing from a lot of the Grenadier owners is actually from the steering of the truck. Whenever you're going through a corner, it seems like the steering wheel does not want to return back to center. Like on a normal car, you make a turn and it's almost like the wheel is forcing itself to go back to center. But on this truck, people are having to chase the wheel around and kind of forcefully push it back to center. And with the King steering stabilizer upgrade, that has pretty much totally fixed that. We just took a really tight corner and had no issues. The wheel came right back to center there, just like that.
The Kings are really nice. It's great that they're adjustable, and so I can sort of adjust them for the road, and then when I'm off-road, I can sort of adjust them out a little bit. Yeah. But they've worked really nice, and I've already sort of changed the spring configuration a couple times, and it's been nice not having to deal with not having enough shock run out to be able to accommodate a few different heights or sort of weight classes for the Eibach Springs.
And now that we got the King set up on here, it's really impressive, kind of the difference that it made on the truck. We just went down a pretty kind of washboarded out road, and it was really dead smooth, really soaked up all the bumps. And that's what really King is known for, is just how good their suspension setup is.
This vehicle doesn't have a ton of fuel capacity and also doesn't have particularly great mileage. The Long Range America 24-gallon aux tank is a great addition, especially for, you know, sort of longer distance overlanding tours. And you actually see, like, when you get around to the back of the vehicle, there's 2 5-gallon jerry cans still on it. The last wheeling I did was up in the Northwoods of Maine, like the Golden Road, the ghost trains, that sort of stuff. And you're looking at 300 plus mile days, and the stock tank is not going to be able to do that. So you got to bring extra fuel and be managing that, be really anxious about it while you're off-road.
So taking a closer look at this auxiliary tank, the capacity on this tank is 24 gallons. So with the factory 24-gallon tank plus this, we're able to carry up to 48 gallons of fuel on board. Once your main tank is starting to get empty, you simply flip a switch, which triggers the transfer pump, and then everything inside the auxiliary tank is going to be pumped into your factory main tank.
And then the Grenadier comes stock with these sort of like plastic or rubber roof runners. So the tent actually is sitting on the runners, and the side is just for stabilization. They replace the aluminum, sort of light colored bars with a DOM steel bar with a welded tent bracket on it. This one's nice because it's kind of low profile. I really like the AluCab stuff, but unless you're talking about a roof conversion, you're going to have a pretty high roof. And, you know, might run into some clearance issues. You're certainly going to run into some mileage issues with the wind profile of the vehicle and a lot of noise. Yeah. So Dirtbox had a pre-existing, they call it their wedgie tent. It's like 6 inches thick, and the tent and the mounts weigh 150 pounds, which is particularly light for a rooftop tent. Yep. It's the Owl Bull Bar, the GP Pactor winch, which replaced the stock winch. The stock winch doesn't have a whole ton of rope length, and this has significantly more. And also comes from sort of a well-known in the States brand, where the stock one comes from Red, which is a little bit more popular, I think, in Europe. Yeah, and it kind of looks a little European. Like, I've seen their videos where they didn't want to, you know, sort of cut this corner with a bend and risk cracking the tube, and so welding it just kind of gives it a bit of a European look, which is kind of cool.
So this is a bolt-on accessory that Alvance offers. With the included hardware, this just bolts directly to the factory bumper, which makes it really nice and modular. So you can actually remove it on and off pretty easily, but I really think adding this front bull bar really kind of transforms the look of this truck and gives you a ton of extra protection. As we mentioned, we really like the AirB bull bars because they have these big hoop sections, providing you kind of full protection all the way out to your headlights and everything. And this Alvance bumper, I think, is a great job adding some protection, and I just love the way it looks. Kind of harkens back to the old kind of Land Rover style with the big bull bars. So I really, really like what Alvance did here. Moving on to the grille area. From the factory, they kind of have some standard fog lights in this grille pocket here, but the folks at Agile Off-Road came out with this retrofit kit, so we're able to fit a pair of Baja Design's XLR 80s in here. So these are going to be a really nice supporting driving light. We have these in the clear. This is the driving combo, so you get a combo light as well as a spotlight. With this additional lighting up here, you're going to be able to see far down those off and beat trails.
The Agile Victron system is my favorite mod, which is funny because it's like the thing that no one can actually see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's by far my favorite mod. I can be off-road, stopped for 3 days, run Starlink, run my fridge, power all my other devices, charge cameras and phones, and 200 amp hours. I'm not going to get through it. And I have a short power plug. I don't even need solar, so we decided not to do it. And the alternator can charge it basically from like 45 to 100 in about 2.5 hours.
Another great piece of kit for overlanding here is this drop-down DP Factor rear table. So this drops down, gives you a nice kind of stainless steel work surface. There's also a little extra cubby here for some extra gear. A nice little feature we also did is we included this National Luna camp light here. So it's going to be a nice red light while you're working at night. Doesn't attract the bugs. But our guys really killed it with this really kind of stealth install here. This light also is able to go to a brighter white just by holding down the button there. Both the red and white are adjustable, so you can turn the brightness up and down, and there's it all the way off. This is a really nice sleek way to include a table here. I really like how they match the gray powder coat here to the gray trim. So a really nice factory looking piece of kit.
We have a place up in Maine, and so we've just started doing a little bit more exploring sort of in the Northwoods there. We did a Ridgeback guide service thing with Ron in Vermont, and now we're down here. So I kind of like you know, a little bit of distance to get to an off-roading destination, and then camping out on the trail.